Hello, I'm Jim and I'm a hockey coach, and in this video I'm chatting to Matt Boote, who is a performance player. He plays for Guildford First 11 in the one down from National League. He's a Talent Academy coach in the Surrey programme, and he also runs a school hockey programme at Gordon School. When we talk about his personal playing career, he's a little bit coy and a little bit withheld out of, I think, modesty. But when he starts talking about working with kids at TA and also working with the schools program, really lets himself go, and there's some fascinating stuff in there. So you're Guildford, who have just been promoted out of Cantor, if I understood it correctly. Is that right?
Yeah, we had a very good season. Yeah, Invincibles.
Unbeaten. Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So Guildford usually played in the East Conference, and then for some reason geographically we got chucked over to the West, which, well, the pros of that was it was viewed as, and has always been viewed as, a slightly easier league.
Yes, London.
The downside to it was the travel.
I bet. What was the furthest one? You ended up going to Bath, maybe?
Bath was all right, but Ashmore.
Don't know that. Where's that one?
Totnes, way down.
Oh, wow.
Way down.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a long.
Yeah, that's a hike.
Quite a long journey.
That's a hike from where I live.
Yeah. We only dropped 2 points all season. A draw at Clifton away in the pissing down rain. But yeah, very good season. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and now looking forward to the challenge of Div 1.
And it was a very short playing season. I mean, how many games did you? I mean, it seemed to me anyway. How many games did you end up playing?
16 games, is it?
Oh, so maybe it's just a bit compressed. It all happens.
Well, yeah, the season's kind of split into two. We play up until like late November, and then we have a long Christmas break for the indoor, and then it starts again back end of January until like March. So yeah, it is. I guess it is quite compressed, but it's full on, and yeah, it was a bit of a slog, but yeah, we did very well.
What does did you play indoor as well in that break? Or?
No. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm coming towards the end of my career now. So,
fair enough.
I hung up the indoor stick a few seasons ago. I kind of use it to Christmas as a time to let my hands
get your energy back. Yeah, quite. Yeah. And so, what's the sort of the progression from sort of what does pre-season look like? What does in like the first half of the season look like? Second half.
Well, we're currently in pre-season now, and we started our pre-season for this coming year in kind of like mid-July, where it was kind of some fun, very informal kind of sessions.
Low intensity.
Say low intensity.
Okay.
But like 5-a-side, lots of gameplay, kind of just a bit of fun just to get going again. So kind of like doing fitness without really realising you're doing fitness, and then sessions then went to 2 a week, kind of early August. We've just been on tour to Belgium, which was really good fun, and the pre-season friendlies are coming thick and fast, and then the season starts like towards the end of September, and as I said, we'll play games every weekend until the end of November before the mid-season break.
And so when you get into the season proper, you're doing 2 sessions a week in there. How do they break down? Is it like fitness and skills, or is it sort of? How do they break down?
Well, I think the coaches would say they'd like to think they don't need to do any more fitness when the season starts. Like, we'd hope to be match ready, and there's no need to do extra fitness. I guess it would depend on how the games go.
Coach's mood.
Yeah, maybe. But the sessions are just always intense. I mean, Tuesdays, it's a bit more of a kind of open session to like embed maybe 1 or 2 other players from the twos. But then Thursday is just solely first team training. both sessions, well, I feel like both sessions are just as intense. Maybe the Thursday session is a bit more focused on who we're playing that coming weekend compared to the Tuesday. But yeah, just lots of hockey.
And so, would it be kind of entirely normal for you to change strategies match by match and maybe during a match?
Well, last year it was very much focused on ourselves, because I think we all believed, like, if we played to the standard we know we can play at, the other teams don't have a chance.
Yeah, it's like
that was
if you play
kind of
properly,
in some way
you should win.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of fact we believed, and it ended up being true. But
Yeah.
Occasionally it was like, we obviously watched video. We had quite a lot of video sessions, and Dan, our coach, would try to get video of every opponent we had, and we would talk about how they played, what their kind of tactics were, what they tried to do, where they got their success from. One of the clubs we played loved just getting the ball forward very, very early on the turnover, chucked a lot of aerials. So yeah, you just have to be ready for it. But
yeah,
I think, yeah, in that regard, you focus on how do we then set up without the ball when we're out of possession. But when we're in possession, it's very much right. This is how we play. We're used to it, and it is going to bring us success.
Yeah. And so the other stuff, the video and what have you, that's outside of the training sessions. That's, what is that, on Zoom or by email or something?
Well, we all have an account to like where all our video is stored. So it is an expectation of us to watch the video in our own time.
Sure.
Our coaches, we've got a great coaching team. You know, loads of them. I don't know how they afford them all, but they kind of can also clip it, so we don't have to kind of watch the whole game.
Yes.
So what's different clips, and then we will have kind of team video sessions like before going out on pitch, things like that. Not every week. It's not like a kind of fixed thing.
This you're talking about now, pre-match or
midweek?
Oh, right.
Yeah, we don't do any video pre-match. Pre-match, very. I think we go for the very kind of simple approach.
Trying to engender focus on
just
what's coming next.
But yeah, it'll be midweek if we do any video, and it might be based. It might be like that. This is what we're going to focus on. These are the areas that we need to make sure we have spot on for this game, and therefore the training session or part of the training session that we then go and do is based on that. So you can kind of see things like link up and match up. Yeah. It's not just like we were just talking about that, but now we're doing something completely different.
So there's a sense of progression from idea from here is the problem we have to solve, here is a way we could solve it, here's how we're going to set up as a group to attack a perceived weakness, something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a thread through it, ideally.
Yeah, and I think for the players' sake, it just makes things very clear and obvious of what you're trying to do, and how we're going to set up, how we're going to play this match to try and give us the best chance of winning.
And that's the second time you've said clear. Clarity is important.
Yeah, I mean,
for you as a player, as a group.
Yeah, you've got to understand what's going on. I mean, it's a team game at the end of the day, so you've got 11 of you on the pitch. If 4 of you don't understand what's going on, or don't understand the press, or don't understand the structure, then you're not going to be very successful. If you come up against a good team, they're going to beat you.
Yes.
And it's the higher you go up the leagues, the finer details matter. If you don't get it quite right, you will lose a game of hockey.
I remember that the highest standard I played, which isn't very high, but the thing that really stuck with me from that was every time we made a mistake, every time, for example, one of our players did a flyby, they scored.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh wow, it matters. Things like that matter so much.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a flyby is pretty bad, but nonetheless, somebody was kind of a little bit wrong-footed. Suddenly, we're back in our own 23. That was quite a revelation for me when I played that season.
Yeah, I mean, it's been mentioned a lot this pre-season as well. Obviously, going into basically probably the most competitive league in the country, because the Prem is, well, the Prem is pretty like you got the top half and you got the bottom half. Whereas Div 1 South, I'm a strong believer that anyone can beat anyone. So you've got to go into every game on top form. And one thing we've always been bringing up this pre-season is, if we make a mistake, if we don't get it right, we will get punished. Last season, there were times where we didn't get punished, we got away with it. Or if we did concede a goal, well, we would go score 2.
Yes.
That's not going to be the case this season. So it's, again, focusing on those finer details and making sure, as a team, but also individually, you hold yourself to high standards, and you don't let us hide that.
I like the phrase. I was working with a Hampshire team, and they just watched 2 other teams play, and they went, "Oh, we beat them, and then they beat them. Does that mean we're going to?" And I went, "No. If you play your best hockey, you have a chance of winning. If you don't play your best hockey, you're going to get beat." And it was perhaps a little bit of an exaggeration, but the message landed, and I think it's a really good attitude.
Yeah.
So that's you as a player. What kind of? It's a bit of a tricky question, but what do you want from your coaches? What are you demanding of them?
I think it's different for every player, and that's why yourself and I are coaches as well. So we understand that you do have a team in front of you, but you also have 16 individuals.
Yeah.
They're all going to have different needs. So for my coaching, I mean, look, like I've mentioned already, I'm towards the back end of my career now. So I would have the opinion that I can be left alone a little bit more.
Sure.
Focus your attention on those who want it and need it. Like we've said, clarity. I like just the way we play hockey, the aims, the objectives, to be very clear.
So you want, I guess, from that, you then want your coach to be decisive. This is what we're doing. It's not maybe this, maybe that. It's this.
Well, you've got to give a bit of freedom, and we do get freedom on the pitch to express ourselves, to show what we can do. But so it's not like robotic, but there's a clear structure. It's like this is what we do when we're on the ball, and this is what we do when we're off the ball. And if these are the expectations. So when you're on the pitch, this is what is expected of you, and that's clear. Because then if you don't do it, then you will understand why you're on the bench. You will understand why you're not playing next week, and that's fine. Because what a player doesn't want is that they start on the bench every week, or they get dropped every now and again, and they can't quite work out why.
I don't know why.
So that means for two reasons: that either the coach not giving them feedback, or it's just very unclear what you want from me when I'm on the pitch, or what you want from my position or the team. So that's a big one for me. And then just we play hockey at the end of the day for fun. So they've got to, even though I play at a level where it is serious, there's got to be an element of fun and just enjoying your hockey. And I'm saying this now, but I'm actually in the back of my head thinking yes, but winning helps with that. So
it does. But I mean, it's not. They're not separate things. They're all part of the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, I remember doing fitness sessions because one year the team I was working with, just their fitness was poor, and they weren't. And it was poor. I'd say poor. That's a bit harsh, but it wasn't great. And it's because they weren't that motivated to be fit. And so I was constantly trying to think of ways to make my sessions more demanding, but also trying to think of ways to make it fun to push themselves. And I mean, simple, like stupid examples, like making it a race, coming up with stupid rewards or silly punishments or whatever. But I mean, fun is a tool, right? I mean, because ultimately,
Yeah.
you want to have a good time.
If people are enjoying themselves, they normally work a bit harder, don't they?
Yeah.
I think it would change with who's in front of you. So we're obviously, a National League first team. So he doesn't necessarily need to make it fun all the time. Like, we're here to perform.
Sure.
We're here to play high level hockey. It means something. I think what the coaching staff at Guildford do well is that they put in effort off the pitch as well. So I don't just rock up and think this guy just cares about on the pitch stuff, and then as soon as we're done, off he goes. Like, they do make a real effort off the pitch to socialise, to get to know everyone in the team, which is important.
Mm. Yeah, very much. So then, from your playing career to you're also a talent academy coach in Surrey.
Yes.
Is that at Guildford as well?
At Guildford, yeah, the Guildford Mens, yeah.
So then, being on the other side of the fence, how much of that stuff bleeds into what you deliver to the kids as a TA coach?
Well, quite a lot. I mean, what I find quite handy of still being a player at a certain level is that even though I've got my playing cap on, I'm still having a look at what the coaches are doing. So I'm always observing, basically.
Yeah, trying to nick ideas, of course.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I'm not afraid to say there's definitely times where I've gone, oh, that's an interesting way of doing that, or that was interesting how he actually communicated with that player, or that was a good way of doing a certain drill or getting a certain outcome. So yeah, I've definitely nicked stuff. Even like setting expectations and setting standards. So with the TA, I have a group there who, should be wanting to really push themselves and are trying to work out how far they can go, and they're very committed to the sport. So it's easy in a way to make sessions challenging, hard work, because I'm not having to deal with some of the challenges you would face in maybe other environments. It's like you will work hard, otherwise you're not going to be in the squad next year.
Oh yes.
Or you will work hard because you want to get into the festival at the end of the season.
That's right. Yeah,
you want to get selected for your national age group. Like, it makes coaching in some ways
absolutely
easier.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because that side of it, the kind of the kind of push, if you will, becomes a lot less necessary because the players are, they're aware of that. They know if they let the side down, then they'll be out the door, and they know that if they perform well, they'll get progression.
I mean, there's still with the TA, you're still you are still coaching and working with young people, so there is a balance. We're also there as a coach to develop them, right? So
yes,
when they first walk through the door to the end of the season, are they a better player? If they're not, then I haven't done my job as a coach.
Yeah.
So it's not just about how many of these girls can we, get to the TA festival and then hopefully get through and get a trial or even get into the squad. It's, have they all improved? Have they still enjoyed their hockey? So you got to balance these things as a coach, and there's different things, different like goals you're trying to achieve. But I thoroughly enjoy it. It is really good, and it tests your coaching because girls are rocking up who are already in the national age group squads, and they're expecting high quality coaching. That you don't want them walking away thinking, "That wasn't amazing."
So a little bit. It's whereas the sort of the motivational side is easier. The actual delivery side, you have to be. You've got to
there's an expectation from you. So as a coach, but again, this is, I guess it should be like this for everyone you coach, but it's definitely been more evident with this group. That this is a TA and also one of the most successful TA centres. Like, so Guildford, of the girls' side anyway, won it back to back, and then this year became second. So it's known as one of the most successful TAs.
Well, best player I've seen playing for Hampshire was at the Guildford TA at the time, so yeah, it must be pretty good.
And then, so there's an expectation there, but also, you know, director of hockey at Guildford and certain other people are expecting, you know, you to deliver high quality. And it's not just rock up and deliver a random session. Like, it is a season in a way. So it's, you know, what are your coaching blocks? How is it all going to like feed into each other? And making sure come the end of the season, all your individuals have improved, but now you've actually got a squad as well who can go out and perform and understand tactics and all sorts.
So then, at the beginning, there's a selection at the beginning, I guess.
Yes.
So then, when you're assessing players, are there specific things, like specific virtues you're looking for? Are there specific red lines that would rule a player out? I mean, how do you go about that?
Well, first of all, we have quite a lot of coaches down at those trial days to make sure, well, one, everyone is seen, because there are a lot of players.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm sure is the same in other places as well. But it's making sure that everyone gets seen and like seen enough as well. But then we just have different kind of criteria in different areas. We're basically marking the players against. Some players will know pretty well. Some players we probably haven't seen much of at all. And yeah, and then we come together as coaches and kind of share our thoughts and opinions and basically make a squad from there. But I guess with making a squad as well, you've also got to kind of consider playing positions. Like, you don't want to get to the end of it and be like, hang on, we've picked 15 defenders here.
Well, you're lucky. I've never had that luxury. I've the number of times, once I had more than 2 players who identified as central defenders, and on a number of occasions I've had no defenders. And I think, it was the right decision, because the defenders that were in theory available were not there yet, not ready for that step. But it did make life interesting. Like,
Yeah.
right, okay, now we're going to all take a turn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's something you've got to keep in the back of your mind, because at the end of the day, you are part of it is you are trying to build a squad for that year. But yeah, and some girls will miss out, and probably on another day they might have got in. But that's it. It's cutthroat. That's trying to, you know, it's probably the same with other sports. If you want to try and get onto the pathway and try and jump the ladder, at the end of the day, there has to be a little bit of luck involved. You have, on the trial days, you have to show up. You have to show what you can do. So yeah.
Well, that's another thing that's caught me out every year that I've done Hampshire. Was I've always ended up picking. Not always, actually, but apart from once, I've always ended up with a couple of players I probably shouldn't have picked. But I also always, it's probably not a good thing to say about myself, is it? But I always fail to identify the standout player. And one year, in fact, the first year I did Hampshire at all, I picked a guy just because I thought he had a good attitude, but that he was a pretty ordinary player. And he turned out to be absolutely outstanding and got very far. I mean, I've forgotten what he got to because the names of the levels changed, but I think he got to the one below England. And at the watching him play in the assessment days, I would never have noticed that. And I, as a principle now, I try to pick one too many players rather than one too few, for fear of missing the legend.
The point you said, you picked him on kind of like his character and attitude. That's massive as well. You know, when selecting players, you've got to also think about how coachable are they. You know, are they do they want to learn?
Mm-hmm.
Do they know that they're still not the finished article and they've got to put in the hard work and get better? You know, do they get on with the person on their right, the person on their left? Are they going to be a bit toxic? these are things, again, when selecting sides, it's got to be considered.
And I suppose in a sort of an assessment environment, that's fairly difficult to pick out with limited contact.
Yeah, if you don't know the player, or because sometimes as well you can get in touch, you can contact their coach or their club coach or their school.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So you can get a better idea of what this person is like in and around the hockey pitch. But yeah, it's difficult sometimes. You pick a player and then a month later you're like, why did I do that? But with the character and the attitudes and the personality thing, I mean, if they're really, really good, that's probably going to get them quite far up the ladder. But it will catch up with them at some point. They do need to put the effort in and listen to coaches and want to get better. There's got to be a want to get better. If they kind of give it the I'm pretty good, I don't need to put in a lot of effort, they won't make it. My opinion, anyway.
No, I entirely agree with that. The thing that was in the back of my mind just then was, right. I tried this idea on you. I don't know, but I sort of feel like the idea of there needs to be a kind of a chemistry between coach and player, and the player needs to be buying what the coach is selling. And I've been aware a couple of times where I've been working with some seriously talented players, and I knew that I just wasn't helping them at all. And I tried all sorts of strategies, I tried different approaches, I tried all sorts of things, and it wasn't them. They weren't being, awkward. It was just that we weren't communicating, and I knew we weren't. And I mean, that's something that I've tried to work on since then.
Yeah.
But I think it's still I think it's a thing, and I mean that might be a reflection on my shortcomings as a coach. But I mean, do you find that? Do you find you work better with some players than others?
100%. I mean, it's also the environment of what you're coaching in has an impact on that. So if you're coaching, let's say, TA, which could be viewed as kind of like a one season thing, some players might just be like, okay, the bond I have with this coach isn't quite the bond I have with my club coach or whatever. But it's just the year. I can just go there, work on my own thing, practice my skills, and that be that. Whereas if you've got someone in a club environment who you're coaching, who you might end up coaching for 2, 3, 4 seasons on the bounce, that's obviously when that becomes more of a challenge, more of an issue. I think as a coach, when I've had not issues, but I've obviously found working with this individual more challenging than this individual. I think you've in some ways got to find out what they want. As we've spoken before, what do they want from the coach?
Yeah.
What do you want from me? How can I help you? Because what I'm doing with this person might not work with this player. So I think it's understanding everyone you have in front of you and what their needs are and what makes them tick, what makes them work.
That's funny. I mean, it is funny. There's one guy in particular I'm thinking of, and I spoke to everybody except the player. And there you go. That's what I should have done. But I should have said, hey, we're not getting on. What do you need from me? How can I help?
It's difficult, isn't it? It's
that's quite embarrassing. But never mind.
No, but it is. It's a difficult thing to do. It's kind of acknowledging that our relationship right now isn't like as good as it could be. So, kind of being confident enough to go to the player and go, look, let's just have 5 minutes after this session, and we can just have a very informal chat. Kind of what do you want from me, but then also what I kind of expect from you as a coach and as a player on one of my teams. Because then it kind of, one, clears the air, but two, it's just, again, the word I use quite a lot, clarity. It's very clear I now know how to kind of act and behave around this player. I know what to ask of them. I'm in no way kind of making the player think like they're in charge.
No, of course not. No,
But
I get that.
it's kind of just making the player very aware that I'm wanting to help them. I want the best for you.
But I mean, apart from anything else, you're letting the player know where they stand. At the moment, it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere, and I want to help change that. But work with me here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's quite a transactional.
Yeah, but I think as a player, like obviously in my career as well, having coaches come up to me and just have very honest and frank conversations, I appreciate it in the long run. And I definitely see that those coaches I've worked under, because I've worked under lots of very successful coaches, but they all have very different approaches. And I think the ones who communicate better with players as individuals, not just as a team, they're the ones who get the most out of me anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fascinating. Yeah. So okay, so the third string to your bow, is so you're in charge of a school's hockey program.
Yeah.
Where you've got a high performing first 11, and then you've got the under 12s D team. How do you kind of build a program to sort of
facilitate?
Well, yeah, so that everyone has a good time, I guess.
I mean, it's challenging because, like you said, you have a first team who look. It's school sports, so they're still there to have fun and to enjoy themselves. But then again, so are the GB team. But there is an expectation there that that's more about kind of playing as well as we can, trying to be as successful as we can, winning matches, going far in competitions, things like that. That has to be an aim of a first team, and then even the second team, like that's a performance squad. There's an expectation there that you are pushing the first team. You are trying to get a few of you into the first team. Whereas if you move all the way down to you under 12s, it's very much about enjoyment, learning the game, improving basic skills and things like that. So, because we're at school where we get quite a lot of players joining year 7 who actually haven't even held a hockey stick before, as you're well aware.
Yes.
So, it's challenging because you go from one session where you're like, right, let's challenge this lot, let's push them. Very much like a club first team, like this is who we've got this weekend, this is how we're going to set up, things like that. And then the next session you go to, it's like, right, this is how you hold your stick.
Yes.
In some ways, it's refreshing because it tests your coaching because you have to be so adaptive. You have to adapt to what's in front of you. But in regards to like creating the program, I mean, for me, it's actually about building a coaching team that I know are going to help me do it, that I can like rely on, and it's very clear that like from year 7 to 9, it doesn't matter. Well, I say it doesn't matter. We would love to win games, but it's all about year 7 to 9. Can we make them fall in love with hockey, and can we make them better? And not like they're setting the world alight by year 9, but
progression.
Are they better than how they were in year 7? Can they now compete? Things like that. And then as we start moving up the school, so into year 10, 11, things like that, I mean, that's when some players, if they're good enough, that's when they could challenge the first team. So the flip from this is very much kind of participation and enjoyment to then this is now performance and actually how are you performing on the pitch? What team can you hopefully get into? Just suddenly just switch. But yeah, it also comes from above. Like what does the school want from hockey? Are they sitting there going, we want to win a national title? They're not. We just want to see record numbers playing the sport. We want to compete at senior level. So our seniors are competing with some of the best schools around, and obviously we're in a county that's very competitive for hockey.
I mean, again, competing, winning quite a bit of the time, if I remember. Last season at any rate.
Yeah, the first team do well. They do well. But realistically, we're not going to win national titles anytime soon. Anyway, we're just not. We're not there. We're currently a school that we can have good seasons. We can compete. We can, have a good run in a cup. But eventually, we will come up against a school and a team who are just better, more set, have more backing.
Millfield, Stowe, something like that.
Yeah, some of them, but they also can bring in players at any year group. Like we can't do that, so but yeah.
And I mean, we've spoken about this before, but other schools, the players turn up aged 11, already pretty good.
So they've been in prep schools. So they've been playing hockey since they were like 4 years old and things like that. Yeah, so that's kind of the challenges we're up against, but we embrace those challenges. And in regards to coaching, I try and make sure that myself and my fellow coaches on the senior teams are trying to push them as much as they can, making it a fun environment, making them enjoy their school sport, but it is trying to see, how far can we go? Let's get to the end of the season and let's look back and go, we could have done much more. And actually we got to where we probably think we deserve to get to. Whereas, down the years, it's very much, like I said, what are the numbers playing the sport? Are they good? Are they enjoying themselves? Are they getting better? And then if we can tick those boxes, then, I mean, that's success to me.
Very well. Right. You know what? I think I'll do, mate. Thanks a million.
Pleasure.